So Saint Anthony or Dr. Anthony has like put out a thing that I got his information from, but I was supposed to go out to Cornwall in February, and then someone killed my dog. I felt like it was a Luciferian initiation, and for that reason, I canceled the trip because I don't want James Casbolt to have anything to do with Luciferian religion. And it was like I wanted to do it again, like go again, and it was like he had seemingly disappeared, kind of like leaving my messages on red. Simultaneously, he did say that he was going into outpatient rehab for pills because his pill addiction had gotten so high that he needed to do outpatient rehab. I guess they just do this. But a little backstory: when I first came back into contact with him, when like his gag order from the United States, because he's in Cornwall, England, the gag order from the United States had run out, like freaking thanks to his awful timeline with the Meyer family, with Haley Meyer and her son. I don't even think that kid is his. I actually think it's her own father's, and I think this was all a plot and a ploy to destroy him in a sense. Disgusting, but that's all coming out. Maybe that's what's making him go crazy. I don't know. Is he going crazy? Like, he seemingly disappeared, but seems to check my messages on a day-to-day weekly basis. So when I came across him, like, he reached out semi anonymously a year ago, January of 2023. And it was because he wanted to help me because he was watching my gatekeeper of a Muslim boyfriend. He was watching him and all his consort and what they were trying to do. So he was trying to help me because he was like, I'm watching these. He didn't say it outright. You know, they have their cryptic ways of saying this, and they can't reveal exactly how they're doing it because the way they do it is largely illegal. A lot of people broke out of the NSA and they just do their things rogue. So they have to be very careful on the way that they speak. But he was still monitoring the situation. And I found that to be very helpful because at the same exact time I was finding out, like, again, like history repeats. I went through this with the small hats and their whole agenda. And this time it was Muslims and their whole agenda, and they had their little beast, they had their little gatekeeper that was sent in that they were controlling. And it's like he's been like watching and monitoring me and my life. Probably, if it's not him, it's his spiritual father, my entire life. And so I found this to be very helpful because I was kind of coming upon this revelation that these people are not good, that they are totally freaking awful in every way, shape, and form. They were doing crimes internationally, trying to hide in America. A lot of people do that here in America. They try to hide from their crimes. So, I mean, that's like how the relationship started. And then naturally, like as time went on, it was like he takes on every kind of relationship that, like, it's like a brother, a father, a best friend, whatever, security, guardian angel. Like, he takes on all these different roles in my life. So it didn't feel like it was any kind of imposition. But then, finally it was like stuff hit the fan, and I was finally fed up with these people connected to that person that I was dating. And then, he like moved in naturally, and we really did have like a normal relationship, but it wasn't normal because it didn't take him long to kind of reveal his altars. It was like I would sort of trigger his altars because super soldiers have altars. So he'd have an altar that was like, who the heck is this? It was like Satan. It was like I was getting Satan. Like, most of the time I was getting Satan. And the dude just was like very like murderous and like wanted to cut me open, gut me like a fish, stick needles in me, like but it was never anything like evil. It was just like I just want to see your insides. It was super weird. And he would kind of outburst in anger that I was like, well, you seem so calm and collected, like on a day-to-day basis. Like, does anybody get to see this version of you? And he was like, no, you're the only one. Like, you're the only one who's ever going to see the side of me, because he has like the ability. And it's like, I don't know what the altar is. I don't know if the altar is the normal guy, and I don't know if the altar is the satanic version of him. But I did profess in all my research. So, backstory, I was like the researcher of James Casbolt. For all the years he was in prison, I came upon his material. I became the almighty researcher and journalist for James Casbolt, the life of James Casbolt. And I presented his material at many conferences, and that was sort of like my identity was intertwined with him. Simultaneously, the spirit of James Casbolt was able to virtually ruin every relationship that I had been in since 2017, for better or for worse, because I was involved with satanic small hats. And if it weren't for him, like, I would have never had any kind of covering, any kind of protection. It was like coming from him from like a super soldier type paradigm. But this would maybe have been like Michael Prince, because there's James Casbolt that's here now, but there's also Michael Prince who exists like outside of this realm. And then when that kind of came to a close and everything kind of calmed down, I really professed, I don't know if it's on this channel or my last channel, but I was like, this dude is the Antichrist. I mean, he is, and a part of it is like people were like grooming him to be the Antichrist, but that's very Luciferian. And then when I came into the picture at the end of last year, I conjoined with him. I professed, like, I hate religion. Like, I'm not doing your religion. We're not going to be Luciferian. You're not going to absorb Lucifer worship. Like, you're done. Like, I won't do it. I will not do it. I will not be initiated into your religion. I will not do it. And I think that's sort of where the pride and the ego was broken, because I think the man is split. Now, that's a good thing, because the wicked people of the world are going to truly hate the Antichrist. And that is going to cause a kind of convoluted way the Christians view him, is because the most wicked people of the world don't want him to come. So Christians will look at that as like, well, the wicked people of the world are gone and dealt with. But, you know, is this Jesus Christ? Like, not really, you know, like, not really. Maybe someday, but not, it won't be soon. Soon, you will get the Antichrist. So, when it finally came time to go out there and there was this, like, Luciferian initiation I would not take part in, it was all spiritual. I was like, I won't do it. Nope, won't do it. Like, kill the things that I hate, don't kill the things that I love. Because someone killed my dog, and it was like an initiation into Luciferianism. He said, well, people believe in Luciferianism that life comes out of death. And I said, I hate your religion. I hate the Christian religion. Like, I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in the salvation. I don't like any religion. I'm dealing with a Muslim. I don't like their religion. I hate their culture. Strange women. These men keep the company of strange women. This is the denominator, is like, these men keep the company of strange women, and that I cannot get behind. Absolutely not. Like, get behind me, Satan. You do not keep company of strange women who only want problems, who have negative feedback loops, who are molesting psychologically, molesting in their nature, who can't repent, can't be humbled, like, can't self reflect. Like, absolutely not. Get behind me, Satan. And it seems like that is what is kind of like broke his ego and his pride. So the pills were getting, the tolerance was getting high with the pills and the drugs, and simultaneously my tolerance for this religion was getting lower and lower and lower and like absent. And it seems as if now, I mean, if this is true, I don't know, but Reverend St. Anthony said he's back in some kind of probation, but it's not really going to be probation because he's like a genetic experiment. Like, he would go into the World Health Organization whenever they asked him, and he would just give genetic material. It was like he understood himself to be like a product of the world, the corporations, the World Health Organization, and he would just go in and give genetic material to them. So it's like he is like super worldly in that sense. Now, this is very much the story of Dracula. Was, I think it was a Shakespeare play, but every time the story of Dracula is reanimated in films throughout history, the story is exactly the same. And they just redid the story in Nosferatu. It's exactly the same. It's the story of Dracula. It's like this dude seems to be able to kill. My last relationship, he tried to come back around, and James Casbolt was like, well, if he does, bad things tend to happen because you are already aligned to me. You belong to me. So he can try and do what he wants, but if he crosses a line, this could mean tragedy, like accidents coming out of nowhere. And then, sure enough, the very next day, the dude gets in a near fatal accident and almost dies. Well, I shouldn't say almost dies, but he was pretty banged up and had to go to the hospital. So it's like a modern day Dracula scenario. And like this story is super ancient. And it's like this dude does seem to have been obsessed with my life throughout my entire life, and then into recent days, like obsession. Like there's an absolute obsession that is supposed to be equated to love, but it's not love because he didn't listen to me when I said get rid of Luciferianism. Like, get rid of it. Like, I do not respect your religion. You have to listen to me. Like, this is the missing link in Luciferian religion, is if the woman's voice is not allowed in your religion, then like we're not gonna F with you. We're not gonna mess with you. We're not gonna do it. And it maybe broke the pride, maybe broke the ego, like maybe it takes some time to like, you know, figure that out. But this is like a modern day Dracula scenario. Swear to God. Like, this is exactly what this dude has been doing in my life. And I'm not complaining because most of it was bad. Because most of my partners were involved with satanic cults, knowingly or unknowingly. But it seems to be this divide between Satanism and Luciferianism and Christianity. And it's like the voice of the woman in the culture is reflecting this. We will have none of it. Like, we want none of it. Like, kill the things that I hate, don't kill the things that I love. They took my dog as a sacrifice, and it only pissed me off. It didn't make me submit or forfeit. It only pissed me off and made me more angry. Kill the things that I hate. Do not kill the things that I love. This is the difference, right? This is the singularity, and this is where we are headed. So, good for me. Good for me. All right, that's that. You the right kind of people. Love y'all so much. Check you later. Have a good night.